Hi guys, this is Dark Eagle again, and welcome to my tutorial 9. I've made a few tutorials for beginners, and I want to thank one of my fans again for recommending me with an option of doing a ground force tutorial. And I honestly don't have a lot of experience with ground force in command modern operations, but I'll try to make it interesting and simple at the same time. So let's get started. First, I'm gonna create a new scenario, and one thing to keep in mind when we're doing a ground force based scenario is the distance, because the tanks and troops or whatever vehicles on the ground, they take a very long time to travel from one position to another, so you wouldn't want to have your tank and your enemy unit really far away. Otherwise, by the time you get to them, you would have already ran out of fuel. And as with other scenarios, I'm going to start with adding sides. I'm going to add a side called offense, and you may have guessed the other side will be defense. I'll set their postures to make them hostile to each other. If you're not familiar with this, you can also watch my other tutorials, but I'll still do it so all the beginners can understand. So now our offense side and defense side are hostile to each other. Make sure you do this before everything else. And now I'm gonna choose a place that is pretty much flat. How about a desert here? I'm gonna add a unit for the offense side, and it's gonna belong to China. Ground unit, and I'll select the ZTZ-96A. Click on the link to check it out. Mobile target, hardened mobile vehicle, and it has 3 anti-tank 11 sniper projectiles, 2.7 nautical miles attack range, and some machine guns. Okay, and then I'll copy it by selecting and pressing C, and then clicking anywhere on the map. I'll keep it as close to the previous one as possible, and you can use right click and range bearing tool, click on the unit and drag around to see how far you are from your other unit. Move it over here. Okay, move it closer, and then I will select both of them, unit orders, group operations, group the selected units, and then select the group leader. Now you can see the other unit is faded. Click on formation editor and spacing 0 nautical miles, and then assign. Okay, now when they travel around, they'll remain close to each other, and this can be important when you want to attack the same enemy unit at the same time. Now we're done with our tanks. We could just begin the scenario after we add a few enemy tanks, but what I want to do here is they're blind. I want to add an UAV, or unmanned aerial vehicle, or as we call it, a drone, so we can find the enemy before they find us. So unit actions, add unit, and one is going to be a generic unit, light utility vehicle, unarmed. And this vehicle, it is going to carry the UAVs. So I'm going to select, click on the right side, add the cargo. Cargo is basically what you have inside your unit. As you can see here, it doesn't have any cargo yet. If it does, it will show on the left side, and on the right side you get to select all the different types of things you can carry in your unit. And the red ones means you can't carry it, either because it's too heavy or too large. And one thing I can do is I sort them by their mass. See, now you have the lightest units here. What I want here is an aircraft. Sort by mass. And then I'm gonna go down to 6A74 ASU1 Valkyrie UAV. Load selected. Now it still allows me to load, so I'm gonna load more of them. Okay. More. Okay, now this means I can carry a max of 6 of them. And the reason I select this one, because it has more fuel, or maybe it's more electricity efficient than the other ones. Some UAVs, and they could just run out of fuel very quickly and have to return to base. And I could start the game now, but there's a problem. You can't have them return to the vehicle where they're launched, so they're just going to fly around until they run out of electricity and crash. So I'm going to add something else here. Unit actions, add unit, click close to my unit here, and then it's going to be a facility. Switch to facility from ground unit. And then it's a UAV launch truck. So this is where we can launch the unit, but also where the unit can land. But one thing that deserves attention is that this unit itself, it can't travel around for some reason, even though it says it's a truck. So I'm basically gonna treat this unit as an airport. But then why did I create a light utility vehicle? It's because I want to keep it realistic. You're not going to start with an airport out of nowhere. So this can move around, this can't. So now I'm done with the allied unit. I'm going to create an enemy force. So I'm going to make sure it's close enough to my unit. Right click on my unit, range bearing tool. Just going to keep it for maybe about 15 miles or so. So I'm going to place another unit here to switch to defense side. Unit actions, add unit. I'm gonna place 2 American, not Abraham, it's Abrams, MBT. It's a pretty popular tank in Wargame Red Dragon, if you have played that game. So I'm gonna select it and place it here. I don't want them too close to each other because I want them to have to find each other. So press C, then copy. To make the mission easier, I'm not gonna make them very close to each other, otherwise they will be able to attack your unit at the same time. Okay, now I'm gonna save the scenario. Save as. Let's go. Now I'm gonna try to play the game. Start new game. Tutorial 9, load selected. Make sure you're on the offense. Enter scenario. Begin scenario. Okay, we can see our units here. Our 2 tanks. Our launch truck, which is empty right now, and then our light utility vehicle. And what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna unload the cargo because you have your UAVs here. I have to unload the cargo first. After I did this, you see nothing happened because it's not playing. So I have to resume the game. And you can see here, it will take some time, 4 minutes for the UAVs to be unloaded. I'm gonna see. What's interesting here is that they are not just unloaded on the site because you're really close to your launch truck. So for some reason, the game just assumes that you want to put it in the launch truck. And even if you have your tank close to the light utility vehicle, when you unload the UAVs, it will just put the UAVs in your tank, which is very unrealistic. But it makes sense here because the UAV launch truck is supposed to be able to hold the UAVs. So if you have your light utility vehicle really close to your tank, make sure that you drag it further from your tank before you start your scenario. Otherwise, it's going to do something unrealistic. So now I'm going to click on the UAV launch truck. It's basically my airport right now, and then do air operations as we've done in previous tutorials. Select the units, our 6 UAVs, and then you can't launch them yet because you haven't armed them. Arm, ready, arm. Select area surveillance. Click OK, ready, and then resume the game. Let's go faster. Okay, now they're done. I'm going to switch to times 15 and then launch individually. Okay, we have all 6 or 7 of them, and then I'm going to drag them, or actually select them and have them start searching for our targets. I actually have to drag around them to select all of them, otherwise you just select one. And always pay attention to how much fuel you have. You can control the speed of the game with your plus and minus sign. I want to spread them apart so they're not wasting their electricity, all searching for the same target. Nothing so far. Okay, I see something here, so it must be one of the tanks, because I created the scenario, so I know exactly how many units I have. And as we get into more advanced situations, you can actually create a scenario where there's a probability of a unit appearing in the game. For example, if you set it to 50, it means even if you place the unit on the map, it only has a 50% chance of appearing. So this makes the game more interesting, because you never know how many units the enemy has, or in which position they have their unit. So we have a problem here. We know there's a unit here, it's armor, but we don't know if it's hostile. We do, but we don't. So in a real situation, what I have to do now is adjust the altitude. I'm going to change it to low altitude and see what happens. Change every one of them to low altitude. So when they're searching for the target, they can actually see closer. Okay, now you see, we can see the M1A1, Abrams, MBT, and they're both hostile. So let's go take them out. Okay. And make sure you, as with a lot of games, you don't just drag or click on the location. Make sure you're actually asking them to attack the target. And to make the mission more smooth, I want to prevent them from wasting time. So what I'm going to do here is to be more cautious. I'm going to create a mission and have them do the mission instead of just me directing the units. So as with other tutorials, I'm going to drag a rectangle around the two units. Okay, and then click, just write mission here for the zone, and then go back to mission reference points, add new mission, just press mission, strike, keep it the same as for the class type, change it to land strike. Okay, now we have a land strike mission. Units, group 3, select group 3, down arrow, now they're all assigned to the mission. No targets. I'll add the 2 units to the mission. So now they know exactly what they're doing. They will destroy both of the targets for the mission instead of just waiting for my next command or attacking automatically. Okay, speed up. And you can see how much fuel they're consuming. See, now they're ignoring my command. They're not just traveling to the waypoint I assigned and stopping there. Okay, firing missile. See, they're getting closer. Enemy firing back. Okay, now we lost one of our ZTZ-96As. That's not good. Okay, the enemy is destroyed. Now let's see if we have people to take it. Okay. Firing at each other. Okay, we lost our ZTZ-96A. And so, even though we failed the mission, but we learned how to use UAVs to find the enemy units and how to make a mission so our tanks can destroy the enemy units that we want. And yeah, that's it for this tutorial. I hope everyone learned something new, and if you have any suggestions or questions about this game, just leave me a message in my community, a YouTube community, and that's where you can reply my message and give any suggestions. Okay, I'll see you next time.